Mayuresh, morning. 30% on oil. I remember 1st of July. We were at 71. Now we're on 100. Nifty, by the way, has fallen about 500 points, right? When we felt this war was ending, I think the high was somewhere around 24,500, Mayuresh. So we've fallen 500 points. Do you think the geopolitical risk is adequately priced in?
Morning, Surabhi. You never really know, right, on how this escalation can go. And if this escalates even further, as Trump and CENTCOM is indicating, I think there are indicators down the line. And therefore, I think uncertainty is back into the market. It always was. I think there was a period of pause when the negotiations were happening. But a lot of experts on geopolitics always thought that it was fragile, and fragile it has been. And therefore, I think all the dynamics are back in terms of risk factors. Food prices going higher, the inflation risk. There are talks in the U.S. market that if inflation starts being higher, which is now getting indicated in terms of the risk indicated by the 10-year as well. The 10-year has crossed 4.7 as far as the U.S. market is concerned. When you're looking at a rate hike before the end of the calendar year, right, there are other sacrifices that are still really dynamic time. And therefore, I think this cycle is changing very dynamically. It's very, very volatile as we speak. And therefore, I think you brought monitors what is expected to happen. Second guessing is
Mayuresh, in this earnings season, and I don't remember the last one like this, where financials have become such a negative surprise. And also the market is very nervous. It's also about positioning. I get that. But I can count on my fingertips literally the bank results that did well and where the market at least was, give a decent reaction. So maybe a federal bank, maybe M&M Finance, ICICI Bank at least didn't fall. The numbers were great. But look at the accidents and the casualties. Bandhan Bank this week. And let's even look at the reaction to an IndusInd Bank for that matter. Great numbers, but the market is still selling off, Mayuresh. What do you make of this intense selling in banks?
So, Surabhi, I think you're right. I think a few of the bankers have reported a great set of numbers. I think the expectations was muted for the domain as a whole. But we're probably seeing surprises. I think credit growth has remained very, very resilient. The main compression has happened, but it has not compressed quite significantly. Credit deposit ratio still remains strong. However, I think the two aspects that analysts and investors are not looking at is how deposits will grow. So over the next few quarters, and it's the worst in terms of both NIM compression and policy pressures. Are bankers reverting to aggressive unsecured? With the other concern, and specifically pop up or so valuations, large cap banks, decent case compared to the PBA. I think these are some concerns, at least for the larger ones, on the base that they're operating out of, how these for the
So, Mayuresh, have you changed any of your top picks in banking, looking at the results, and just revise for us again between large and mid? Both sides. In banks, what are you going with right now, and what's still in the portfolio?
So I think the mid-sized private sector banks will be something that we believe have done well. And in a business environment like this, I think the hope is that they should continue doing well. So I think among the mid-cap private sector banks, I think Pharma is something that we'd like for periodically. Numbers have been fantastic for Pharma Bank, and probably suggest that they might be able to sustain this growth going forward. For own senses that we ran for our portfolio for the better part in terms of PSU banks. We put out of that mid private sector banks will be looking at numbers and expectations
Mayuresh, what do you think about Infosys? A lot of people were actually expecting better growth from Infi versus TCS, but there's a bit of a disappointment on that.
Well, it is certainly disappointing because I think the revenues have come below par. The margins have been stable, that's fine. But I think there is everything has well impact. This is ready to possibly a profit. And the revenue guidance at upper end has probably come down. The optimism, beginning of the calendar year, TCVs have been okay. Therefore, I think it's a solid all the numbers put together. I think all expectations are that. To say the least, I think that this is largely helpful.
Sorry, Mayuresh, couldn't hear you. So, is it a buy or is it an avoid for you? Infi, what's the call now?
So IT we are completely neutral. Surya. We don't have any position.
Okay.
For a long period of time.
Okay, and not rushing to get in. Any thoughts on the CEO change, Mayuresh? Like I said, coming at a difficult turning point for the industry and the company.
He's an insider. He's a great guy. I was I think he's got a lot of initiatives as far as the business is concerned. So how does it translate being at the desk and navigating through this tough time?
Okay, Mayuresh, so I'm going to do a quick rapid fire with you on some of these stocks. Interglobe Aviation, like or don't like?
Very difficult to give one. Don't like looking at results.
No, my question is like a one-word question. Your answer can be longer, so I'm trying to save the time. But what thoughts after a rough quarter?
I think fuel costs were expected to be higher because crude jumps. It's not passing quickly. I think in terms of exports would have been much higher if the pass-through was allowed. I think the pass-through as was stated as far as it might remain high. So at this juncture, not much giving it.
Okay. And what about the e-commerce giants? Meesho, the smaller, of course, cousin, and Eternal itself. I mean, the market was bidding up Eternal even yesterday after the numbers came through on a rough day. Your thoughts? What do you like in this space?
Also, Eternal has done well and it has delivered well on most parameters. So we're also talking the competition if it comes to not affect your margin, structuring on the one side. Cash balance is probably improving every month. But I think there are two basic factors. I think the competition will obviously play its part as it comes through with giants like Amazon and the rest of the state. And the second factor is to probably take care of competition. They might be going to the market might impact their cash flow. I think NICA is something that is actually evolving in a local. Our sense is numbers were fantastic, the numbers are changing, and urban consumption, fashion, and beauty, NICA retail probably should build up even further.
Okay. That's on Eternal. And finally, the pharma names and big pharma names that have come out yesterday, Mayuresh. Dr. Reddy is obviously disappointing. Cipla also below estimates. What is your advice? Should one be buying the dip or just stay away right now?
I think it's very, very uncertain, right? And Cipla's, I think, the two prospects, if you look at quarter on quarter, it's largely been that it's dropped up to 37-38% as we speak, especially from capital. A large component of that is management is pretty sure in terms of continuing its R&D spend. I think 38% over the top line, creating that. A ton of food losses in the US, more expected, and more respiratory losses, which are more complex, can be expected as well. When are those timelines? I think that is that important that topic. Our own sense is that CMS, CDMO as a space still continue to.
Okay. I think we're having a bit of a tough day with audio, Mayuresh. We'll let you go on that note. Hopefully it's going to be a slightly, stable trading session. I think stable will be good on a day like today. But you have a good one, have a good Friday, and of course a good weekend. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, sir. You have a great week. And you too, Ajay. Thank you.
Thank you.